Hello, hello. Welcome to Bunny Love 444. How do you do? How is it going on this terrific Tuesday? Hopefully y'all can see me and hear me. I know it's been kind of chaotic in here, but let's see if we can. Some shirts and everything are sticking out here. But for all of you that are tuning in, just know down in the description box, I do have my email. If you go in there and you look, my email is down there now so that people that are trying to reach me can actually reach me, because I don't leave it stay up too long in the actual comment section. But it is in the description for the ones who watch my videos, okay? Yeah, and also there's been a lot going on, and like I said, tonight's going to be a little bit different. Let me put up my message here so that there we go. That way we get it up there. Okay, so like I was saying, oh, geez, you may not be safe. I don't know what that's. Okay, I don't know what's going on. It's doing its own thing. So little things pop up here and there, but like I said, tonight is going to be the pure raw truth of things that are being channeled through. And so if anybody gets triggered, I'm just letting you know that I am the messenger, and God says that these need to come out, because he said it's okay, divine masculine and divine feminine. You know, there's prayers for you. um and God says threading the garments, meaning that he is protecting you, because these are things that need to come out. And some of these things that have been channeled through are pretty tough to deal with. So I just wanted to let you guys know right off the bat. This is part of the healing process, is that the people who have committed these things that have hurt us in our life, who have crossed over and who have not been able to speak of them, are coming in with divine messages to make sure, okay? And first, like I said, we're going to go through the channeling of what has come through. And I do this because it's specific things that have come through to let you know that everything that you're going through is true and pure. Also, I do want to mention, I appreciate all of you for the emails. Just know that I had a little over 1,000 some emails, and I'm responding to every single one of them. Every single one will be responded to. So if I didn't get to you yet, just be patient. I know there was a couple people on certain videos that were asking me, how to get a hold of me privately. And like I said, it's down in the description, way at the bottom. Once you hit the more button, scroll all the way down, you'll see two little envelopes with two little hearts on the open envelope. And it has my email on there so that you can email me to get a hold of me. Okay. Um, one of the things that, like I said, is coming through tonight is really going to hit home for someone, because like I said, the messages are pretty strong, and we're talking about sorrow, grief, and bitterness. Okay, that's what God's been bringing in, because we need to take and we need to melt that ice around the hearts and come into our true authentic self of who we are, by melting that and being able to energetically let go of that sorrow, that grief, that bitterness, that pain, everything that has been attached to us to limit us of what we are going to be doing in our life, or how we do certain things, or how we raise our children. I mean, mine are young adult children, but it's all based on, you know the pain that we go through. And not a lot of people want to touch on pain. Everybody is so, like God says, He loves it about the unconditional love, about the romantic partnerships. But He said, there's more than just romantic partnerships, there's loving our Father, you know, and through our Father, we get Lord Jesus Christ, right? Okay. The other thing that He is saying is, when it comes to this, just know on your spiritual journey, it's not all peaches and cream. And, He said, um, he's talking about, we're kind of like the bread, right? So we rise as we heal and we grow. But when He does it on Passover, He does the leavened bread, right? And the leavened bread means you cannot have no yeast in your house whatsoever. It has to be a flat bread, right? So there's times in our life where He was showing me the representation of the beautiful rising of the bread versus the leavened bread on the Passover. And it's holding on to this for generations. That is like our feelings, the things that we go through, we hold on to it for generations. And when I say generations, it's like what happened to your parents and their parents, and on to you and so forth. It's like a generational curse, and God says this is where it needs to stop. This is where we need to come in, and we need to be able to open it up for people to be able to heal. So when He talks about the rising of the bread, that it's plump and beautiful, and it's fulfilling, right? And He's saying that's like our lives, because He wants us to expand, He wants us to grow, He wants us to come into the other, galaxies and spiritual realms, and the animal realms and everything else, and be totally in touch, not only with our intuition, but some of us are very psychic, okay? And so He gives us visions and be able to fully look into it. And when I say psychic, it's God's psychic vision for me to be that channeler. And so it's with my soul's highest intention to be able to give you 100% accurate reading in the divine guidance from our Father. So thank you, Father, for being able to give this to the collectives. Hello, sweetheart. How are you doing? I got yours sent off today. So yours and Sugar's got sent off. You should be receiving it in a couple days. Um, but it's God talking about, like He wants us to rise above. He wants us to flourish. He wants us to be fulfilled. He wants us, to have plentiful. Okay. And what stops us is holding that sorrow, that grief, that bitterness, and that pain, right? It makes it like on the Passover where you have the leavened bread and it's complete flat bread. You are so welcome, beautiful. You are so welcome. Um, and that's the leavened bread, because we feel stuck, we feel flattened, we feel defeated, we feel lost, and He's wanting me to put it out there. So the first one that He gave me was 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 and 4. Blessed be the God and Father, our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our afflictions, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any afflictions with the comfort with which we ourselves are comforted by God. Okay. And that is that sorrow and that grief that we feel is what He's talking about. And then He gave me Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14 and 15. And this is about that bitterness, okay? Because certain foods that we eat, and this is why He's using the interpretations of the breads, because, the breads rise, they're fulfilling. When it's Passover, it is very strict. We're restricted from, being able to have it. So we have to have the leavened bread with no yeast in it, right? So again, He says, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14 and 15. Strive for peace with everyone and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one fails to obtain the grace of God, and that no root of bitterness springs up and causes trouble, and by it may become defiled. Okay. So this is the thing. It's like when he's talking about this, and then he showed me 333, which that is put your plans into action, that positive energy. We need to make our positive energy uprise. Okay. That needs to be the most powerful thing, because when our energy is uplifted, we are coming from that true unconditional love from God, right? But but as he says, we are not always happy. We are not always happy. He said he knows there's trials and tribulations. He knows there's lessons to learn. He knows that there's going to be, triumphs that happen in our life, and we're just like, but we are allowed to, feel angry and sad and hurt and have these emotions and these pains that have locked into us for the generations, right? Because why? A lot of people don't want to deal with it. A lot of people want to tuck it under the rug or tuck it down into their solar plex and put it away in the little Pandora box and say, I'll deal with it some other time. I'm not ready to deal with this. Well, God says tonight he wants me to put these messages out here. So that's what I'm doing. We do have some channeled loved ones that are coming through, but I'm going to get through of everything that I have channeled today. Everything that God was trying to tell me, I'm trying to write it all down, write it all down. And most times I don't have to, but today it was abundant. And when I say abundant, I mean it was abundant. It was like I stepped outside and the Blue Jays and the Cardinals and the Hawks and the Ravens, all of them started giving me messages from the spiritual realms. And I'm like, okay, this is very important. So what I said on the 333, it's like he's saying that we need to put a plan into action, and that's raising our positive vibrations on a much higher frequency, almost like when the angels sing, or when they're playing the harps and you have that beautiful melody and that just peaceful, blissful, harmonious, sound that is vibrating with our heart, that just makes us feel that unconditional love. But he also wants you to have the enlightenment to dream big, but stay balanced, because a lot of people get off balance when it comes to the hurts and the pains, the sorrow, the grief, and the bitterness from past situations that they've held on to for so long. I'm also hearing that some of them have been like family secrets that have kind of been tucked away. And so he's saying tonight it's being brought to the surface, and hopefully these messages that he's given me resonates with somebody, to know that first of all, you're not alone. God's seen everything that happened. Okay, God has seen everything that happened. But first he showed me 31. Okay, so when he showed me 31, this was something about your creativity to make the change in your own unique way, because I'm just the messenger. But you do the hard work. You make the progress. You make the new beginnings happen. You adapt to the changes. You go with the flow to become stable in your own setting. Okay. And I'm just the messenger that gives the message. Now, he also said 39. Okay. So 39 is you're needing some type of direction and guidance in discovering your life purpose. And in order to do that, God needs you to heal certain things so that you are in that righteousness of not holding that bitterness, that grief, that pain, that sorrow. Because how can you do your angelic job for God if you're holding on to these past things? He said he wants it to be able to be pure. He wants it to be transparent. He wants it to be vulnerable. Okay, so then he showed me 37, which 37 was about the new beginnings, and being able to take them next steps towards your goal, and feeling fully supported by God and his messengers, and to be able to do this, because you're not alone. You're never going to stand alone on it. He wants people to understand that me, I speak it, He knows I'm that warrior for him that will speak it. And it's because when he gives me the message that he is trying to give you that guidance, that he's trying to give you that direction to have that prosperous life, he's saying this needs to come out. So then he showed me 312. And this is his unconditional love because he's saying, listen, I'm giving you the courage. I'm giving you the angels. I just need you to stay confident. I need you to stay fearless. I need you to stay bold in everything that we're doing. And that's when he also come in and said 312 is also talking about the unconditional love, because it falls back to a lot of people in life are searching for their significant other, their twin flame, right? And I went like this because it's 1111, right? Twin flame. Okay. Or it could be 1212, God said. But 312 also breaks down for the twin flame because that's about coming into reunion with your twin flame. So he's saying, in order to do that and to make it successful this time, because all of the other relationships. Absolutely, and I was just getting ready to talk about that, Misty, because all of your other relationships, you think that it's a new beginning, a new start, and everything seems so different and so beautiful and so glorious and miraculous as you meet this new person. But as that comfort zone, I call it the candy moon, okay? Because after that reflection period is over, the honeymoon is over. And this is where they start to play games. They start to show you signs of how it is the same cycle with just a new person, and they put a little twist on what they do. Yes, the honeymoon phase. Yes, absolutely. But the thing is they put a little twist on it, and then you start seeing the traits of your other relationships. And the reason why God does that is because God says, listen, you're in this relationship. I want you to see things from a different perspective. I want you to be able to heal. And in order to do that, I need to keep repeating this with different people. Because when you change relationships, he says, with the different people, so they show you their true inner self when you first meet them. So God says, it's not the honeymoon phase, it's the moon candy. Okay. Because they're showing you their true sweet self of who they actually are. But as it goes on, God takes and pulls out certain things to make it come back to where you see things from a different perspective, where you come in and you start doing the healing and you start resonating with the relationships. Okay, this one was different, but it had the same in this area. That is God trying to give you direction and guidance. This needs to change. In order for this to stop in a relationship, you got to follow God's divine guidance and direction, because if you're going to ignore it, what happens? It ends up that eventually you break up and your heart's broken and you're trying to figure out, where do we go from here? Or why do I keep getting it? Then you start thinking there's something wrong with you. Okay. So God then showed me 317, which he's congratulating you for making the right choices and having that optimism and that hope for choosing the right people that he's putting in your path. Because here's the thing, he's talking about what I just talked about the different relationships, whether it's romantic or friends. What he's talking about is sometimes he brings people in that have that moon candy, right? So they come in and they help you reach a certain end of a situation, or they end your success, or they start to ruin your future by the way that you're perceiving things and the way you're thinking, right? So he's saying it's you. 317 is broken down to your divine path. He's congratulating you when you make them right choices. But when you're in question, instead of holding that bitterness, that sorrow, that pain, that grief, you need to release it to God because He's the one showing you on your divine path. This is what I need to do. This is what keeps showing up in the relationship. This is what I need to start working on and really focus inward on you of what do I need to do to make these changes come out differently, okay? So then he showed me 313, okay? And on this one, this is him coming in because he's saying a lot of you have made a big sign of progress and he sees it. And there's been a paradigm shift, okay? And when he talks about a paradigm shift, it is no joke. I love when them paradigm shifts come in and them blessings that he bestows upon us. They are miraculous. They are extraordinary and they are beyond imaginable. But anything's possible with him, right? So he's saying what he wants you to start doing is actually use your instincts, okay? And when he says use your instincts for your self assurance, it's because you trusting in your instinct, your gut, the inner core of you and God together. Okay. Because if you're struggling with some type of situation, the thing is the first thing that comes to thought is yours and God's thought. But you question yourself, then you doubt yourself. And then you go over here and you make a different decision just to come out and find out that, oh, I should have picked this in the first spot. Okay. God is telling you that is you and his connection of that first instinct of what he's telling you. So if something don't feel good, don't do it. If something feels good, go for it. Okay? So he's really wanting you to use your discernment because sometimes you're picking the wrong people. Okay? And he's saying that if you're not tapped into your intuition, that is how you go by it because God is telling you that that first thought that comes to your mind is yours and God's thought of how to outcome that situation or how to be able to go around a tragic event that's going to happen or somebody who's trying to hurt you. He is trying to protect you. So he's telling you straight out that direction and that guidance, go with your first gut instinct because that is the one between you and God. Okay. So then he showed me 222. Now we know that these are new opportunities, but he is wanting you to focus on your spiritual path. This is where you're going to be balanced. This is where you're going to have that harmony. This is where you're going to have the support. This is where you're going to have the guidance. And it's all coming from God and the angels. Okay. That's their unconditional love of what they're trying to show you. And it's opening up to new perspectives of what God is trying to show you because he's saying that he has heard so many prayers of people saying, I wish I could have the right person, or I wish that I could have this. But the thing is you're not making the subtle changes. Okay. You're making a lot of changes, and he's saying it's big progress. But when he says these subtle changes are things that you're not looking in the mirror and reflecting on of why it keeps happening. So that's why he had me explain that to you. The other one that he is showing is 330. Okay. And this is a powerful sign from God and the divine realms. And this is all the divine realms coming in, backing God up for all of his angels, all of his ascended masters, guardian angels, spirit guides, kindred loved ones, and all the multidimensional realms. Hello, hello, sweetheart. Thank you all for being here. They're all coming in and they're saying right now, the path that you're on the right path. Don't deter off. Don't deter off. He's saying that he wants you to up your positive energies. You will get good fortune. You will have spiritual growth. You will have personal growth. You will have a love life. You will have new things coming in. And him as the master teacher, blessing me to be able to put this gift out, you're going to see how it turns your world around and these blessings start coming to you in a massive way. Because when God says you are on the right path, but these are these little subtle changes is that he's wanting you to do, which is going to give you everything that I just named, positive energies, your good fortune, spiritual growth, personal growth, love life, and new things that you never thought, or excuse me, correction, he's correcting me. It's going to be new things that you never thought that you could obtain. You said, "Oh, it's never going to happen. It's just a wish. It's just a dream." Okay. And he said he's going to make that dream a reality. But please, he's saying, follow his guidance, follow his support, and follow what he is trying to encourage you to do, because this is how you're going to change not only relationships with friends, people that you meet, and having them interconnections, and having a greater understanding, and be able to follow them instincts of what you and God are feeling. Because he's saying, if you come up to somebody, or somebody comes up to you, this is what he's correcting me. If somebody comes up to you, and in 1/10 of a second on your divine path, you get a feeling that just makes you kind of feel, oh, like, oh, I feel like I got to throw up, or you start feeling shaky and everything else. Know that's God telling you, protect yourself from that person. It's not that they are a complete bad person, but they have a lot of inner work to do. And all they're going to do is drain your energy, pull you down, and they're going to bring you back into a spot where you're sitting over here feeling lost and confused, when God is trying to give you these new beginnings. He's trying to encourage you, He's trying to push you forward, but He's also congratulating you. So, sweetheart, yep, we will save them for the end. Right now, I'm just giving the messages here that are coming through, because tonight I'm not going to be doing a lot of answering there. You might get your answers because I have loved ones that are trying to come out. Yeah, and it's you should be able to see people's aura, sweetheart. You should be able to see their aura, and it radiates around them when you are fully open, because you can feel their aura. Yes, you can feel their frequency and their vibrations of what energy they're possessing. But the aura, you should be able to sit there and see it. And how he's explaining this. Absolutely, yes. So the way he's explaining this, okay, because Luna is very beautiful, and she is the goddess of having us go in and do these reflections, right? And to be able to bring things to light of what we weren't seeing and what God is wanting us to see. So even though the full moon is Friday, okay? This is what they call the black moon. You're not actually going to see it because it's actually hiding behind the sun and the earth. And that's why they call it the black moon, is because the way it's positioned at 28 degrees, he's saying you won't be able to. It's like there's no moon there, but it is a full moon, okay? Is how he's explaining it to me. But the thing is if you want to learn how to really tap into the auras of things, because everything has aura. And he's saying that if you want to learn and to tap into it, email me and I'll be able to walk you through on how you can start tapping into that, because that is going to be very significant, to where when you go into a store, you can see you can see their full aura, to know whether should I walk this way or should I go that way, because energetically you're protecting yourself. And a lot of people are like, yeah, that's crazy, that's crazy. No, it's a beautiful gift that God gives you. Yes, yes. So the thing is he wants you to know that this paradigm shift that has taken place, he is here full force with the angels, guiding and giving messages. So now we're going to get to the part where maybe triggering for some people. Like I said, if it does trigger you, you know, excuse me, try to breathe through it, because if you run from it, it's Okay, so our Father says if you're running from it, it's going to be like the leavened bread. You're never going to be able to rise to the next level. You're never going to be able to start healing that within, because he's saying that a lot of people don't like to go and, sit and talk to somebody face to face because of the fact. He says right now you're in the comfort of your own home. Some of you are at work, some of you are sitting in the vehicle, he said. Okay, so hopefully you're not driving, hopefully everybody's safe and parked. um but he said some of you are sitting in the living room, in the chair, and just kind of watching this. But he's saying that you are in the comfort of your own home. So this is where that healing truly comes in, because you're not alone. He's with you, and he's given me the messages to put out there. And when I channel in, as you can see, I drink the mountain spring water, because this stuff right here, I'm telling you, I love this spring water. Not only that, but God's sacred mountain and that connection there, the channeling is really deep. And so I'm just going to warn you that if sometimes I go in and close my eyes, because I'm already feeling like somebody's sick to their stomach, they're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Okay. And so just know that these messages, you're in the comfort of your own home, and God's bringing it forth, because we, as a unit, as the pillars of strength, as the stabilizers for all of our broken ladders, we need to stabilize and come together in the unity of being able to raise the vibration and start that healing sensation, so that you can really get what God has meant for giving you. Your blessings are sitting there waiting in that paradigm shift. He's been waiting to be able to put these blessings out there. And some of you have gotten your blessings, he said, but some of you, these are life changing. Something you thought that would never take place in your life. Okay. And he says it's going to happen. Okay. So if you do see me at times where I'm closing my eyes and I'm doing this, is because I'm locking into the fine details of things that are going on. Yes. Amen. Amen. But I'm tapping into the fine details that God is trying to show me. And sometimes when I close my eyes, is because the vision comes twice as hard. The majority of the time, I don't need to, because I can see it clearly. But when they really want me to specifically tap in, because you're going to know it's for you when I specifically tap in and give you details that nobody knows besides you and the person that the encounter happened with. Okay. And it's very important. It's very important to know the process here, so that you're not thinking, well, what's going on? And then after I tap into, some of these messages that are going to be very deep healing, um, you know, and if it brings tears to your eyes, just know that your soul is crying to finally let this out and know that you are not alone. Okay. So we're going to get started with that. And then after I'm done channeling some of them in, because I know I can push it, and I don't like to push it too far, because then I have the after effects, energetically and stuff. But I'm going to tap into things, and you're going to be like, well, how does she know this? Well, thank our Lord, thank our Father, in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, because He's the one that gives me the messages. He's the one that has me put it out there. So, all right. I'm feeling like somebody's already getting choked up. Like, I don't know. And I feel this nervous energy of somebody going, I don't know if she's going to say something about me. And I don't know if she's going to bring up mine. Just take a deep breath, and just know that if you start to feel triggered, please, I ask you, take a piranha in, hold it for 4 seconds, and release it with the apana, okay? And do that 3 times, because you're connecting with God. You're going to feel the sensation. Some of you will feel the tingling. Some of you energetically will feel what I'm feeling, if it's pertaining to you, okay? It's no joke. It's a lot of energetic with walking in the existence of our Father, Lord Jesus Christ, okay? So yeah, I'm feeling somebody has been choked, like choked. They're showing me that you were in a relationship and he threw you down and put his hands and started choking you. And he's coming through because he was drinking. He was drinking and he said that he rolled his vehicle and he didn't make it. And he's telling you that he is so sorry. He did not mean to do that to you. It's just all of the things that he was going through. He didn't know how to control it, and he didn't want to get professional help because people already thought he was crazy, and he didn't want professional help to be able to go in and deal with it because he didn't want to physically harm that person and end up in prison, is what he said. Okay, so for whoever that resonates, he's coming through and he's deeply sorry. He said that if he could have changed it and if he wouldn't have been beaten by his father and sexually abused, he would have never learned how to do that. Because he said that, "I'm sorry, I didn't honor women. I didn't respect women." Okay? Yeah, and I can feel his deep sorrow in his heart for this because he's the one that took his own because of what he did. Mm. I'm seeing another vision coming in. This woman, she's in this white house and she's standing at her window looking down the driveway. And I feel like she's very afraid because I just got that sick to my stomach. She's very afraid, very nervous, watching out the window. And there was some interference with some people. And I have to watch what I say, but God says, put it out there and He will protect me. But the thing is I need to give these messages. But there's a woman looking down from this window to the driveway, and this man pulls up and he's got this biker jacket on, which I will explain that in a minute. But it was like they were husband and wife or going to be no, he says, "We were going to get married. She was my baby's mama. She was my baby's mama," is what he's telling me. And he stood in the driveway because he knew that what he was related to and what he had been doing out in society, he knew something was up, but he didn't want to say it to her. And the message that came through on her phone is what made her fear panicking out that window. And I see her opening the window like this and it come out like that. And he says, "I love you. Whatever happens, just know that I love you and our child." And he got in the vehicle and drove off. And now he's showing me sitting in a hospital bed with the trach in his throat, fighting for his life because somebody did something to him. And he feels bad because he left her and the child. He said that he was finally starting to, want to break away from these things so that he could be that family man. And he feels bad because he didn't get to do that commitment for her. And he says that he's now happy to see her that she has moved on and found somebody. Yeah, I'm hearing this gentleman that's coming through. Something happened in the park because he was running and had an asthma attack. Oh. Mm. Hold on a second. My heart is racing like it. He's showing me how hard his heart was racing, and he was gasping and he was feeling faintish, but he's running through on this park trail and kind of collapsed, and nobody found him. Nobody found him for a week or two later. But he said he wants me to say, if my family's hearing this right now, just know that I love you, and it was never meant to be that way. And he's like, if I didn't have the medical condition, and if I would have listened to you, mama, and had my pro air with me, he said, I'd still be there. Mm. There's a father coming through. Oh, and this is for somebody who was sexually abused by their father. He's coming through right now. Wow. And he said that he would always make sure that they were sound asleep. And when he would go to bed, he would make sure that that door was cracked a little bit so nobody heard the door opening. So that way he could just come and push the door open. And I'm seeing two sisters, one in this bed and one in this bed. He thought this sister was sleeping. So he come over here and he said, he's sorry. He's sorry. He's so sorry. And that God punished him. God punished him is why he had the heart attack. Oh, I don't. This one. So they're showing me somebody who was homeless, but he was a father. He was a father. He was also, he says, I'm an alcoholic. I was an alcoholic, a very bad alcoholic. And he's showing me his stomach. He had an aneurysm. And he's like, nobody comes to visit me. He said, he's sorry because his alcohol was always more important. That's why I left your mom. It wasn't that your mom kept me away from you. It's my fault that I didn't spend time with you. And by the time you turned of age, I was too far gone in the bottle. I didn't want even to focus on the family part of it. And he says, I'm sorry because now I've made you the way that you are today. And the way you are today is you're sitting there drinking, you're mirroring exactly everything that I did. You're sitting here drinking, abusing women, and abusing your family. And this poor man's crying. I feel his emotions. I feel his emotions. He's crying because he's like, even though I wasn't there, even though I didn't stick around, you turned out exactly like me. You turned out exactly like me, drinking and smoking and putting your hands on women. I'm also hearing beating on your family members because you would be so intoxicated. They would say something and you would come in and just be abusive to them. He's like, I'm sorry because now you're living your life the same way I lived mine. And you don't have anybody. You don't have anybody to help you through this. And you won't seek help. You won't seek help. I know you won't because I didn't seek it either. I drank myself to death on that sidewalk, is what he's telling me. And like I said, when these channeled messages come through, like I said, and God's telling me to come in and say this right now because I am not breaking any of the YouTube terms and conditions. I'm giving God's messages. They're healing messages that people need to hear, that are being channeled. I have a mother that's coming through who would leave their daughter home alone, lock her in the home and leave while she went to go do her thing. And so she says she's sorry for your abandonment issues, your codependency issues, afraid to be alone. It's because of what I did. And so you have these crossed over kindred loved ones coming through, giving these messages. And this mother is like having a panic attack because there's something that, it was an altercation between her, another person, and you having to watch her be abused. Mm. Another man came through and he said, "Son, I wasn't there for you." And he's doing exactly like this. He's like this. He's like, "Son, I wasn't there for you growing up because I was off doing my own stuff." And he said, "When I found out that I had cancer of the blood, okay, he's saying leukemia. He's saying I didn't really have the connections, I didn't have the family support, but I did truly love your mother." Oh, hold on here. Something's popping up. Trying to see here. Hold on. Found 4 risks. 4 risks. Okay. That's weird because it goes along with the message that there's a reason why that box just popped up, because that's confirmation that it didn't put just one person at risk, not 2, but 4 people at risk. Okay? I'm hearing a mother, a son, and 2 family friends, or the son called him brother or something like that. But it's a lot of pain and resentment that is coming through because still to this day, he said, my son is fighting massive depression and thinks very low of himself because of me, because of what I did in the family dynamic to pull down his mother. Oh, I got somebody that's got a head injury. They're going like this. They're showing me a head injury. Mm. Yeah, so what they're showing me is with the head injury, something took place as a child that caused a head injury. And that father that's coming through said discipline. He used harsh discipline, very harsh discipline. I'm also hearing, mm, this just breaks my heart hearing, because I'm telling you, the people that are coming through, they are repenting what they did. And the reason, because somebody's child keeps saying, "Well, I don't understand why God took him so soon." I'm hearing age 42, took him at age 42. The thing is it was a repeated cycle. And when it happened, it was a tragic accident, yes, is what he's showing me. It was a very tragic accident. But he said if I wouldn't have been on them drugs, that accident would have never happened. That accident would have never happened. But I surrounded myself with people that were in the hardcore. I show another man coming through who's all burned up. He had been burned in a house fire. And he's like this. I don't know what that means because I'm trying to tap into it, but it's like all the smoke is following what he's trying to do, like this. But he's coming through and say, tell my family. Hold on. Tell my family in Missouri I love them. Tell my family in Missouri I love them. He's saying, tell my brother Robert in Missouri, that I love him. Hmm. I got another one coming through, and he says, man, I really miss fishing season, being able to go out and fish. And I'm proud that the son who I raised, who was not biologically mine, graduated, but just know that the baby is saying something about the baby that she carried full term passed away 5 days later, and he is now with the grandchild. Wow. I'm hearing too that this elderly woman that's coming through, she used to get attacked in a sexual manner walking down the long driveway. It shows a cornfield right here, walking down the long driveway, and it comes around the curve like that, and the house sits right there. But she's saying, and I'm trying to see the initials, is it's hard when I'm trying to tap into it and it's fogged out because they're not remembering exact. It makes it hard energetically to be able to hear what they're fully saying. But God said that, listen, this woman that is coming through, for whoever this resonates with, she is sorry that she did nothing to stop him from molesting and sexually abusing you. She's sorry, but she was scared of him. She was scared of him. Mm. And I'm hearing the family secret came out. She's getting choked up here. Hold on. She said the family secret came out when he passed, that it wasn't just you, it was his nieces and a cousin of his. Mm, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, because I'm hearing that she's saying that, and this is the mother to this man. She says, "I'm the mother to him," and she's bringing it forth. And she said that it's sad because my granddaughter doesn't even realize what all transpired. What all transpired. Hmm. Oh, okay. We're gonna get some messages now because, like I said, I don't know who that all resonates with, but the things that just came out specifically, I can't give names and I won't give names for the confidentiality for the person that it took place. But the thing is just know that these people are coming through. They have remorse for what they're doing, and they describe details and everything. And if somebody reaches out to me and emails me, I'll be able to let you know fully the other portions of it, because you're going to know if it resonates with you, because you would have felt the goosebumps. You would have felt the goosebumps of God embracing you in a hug, and you would have felt the itchiness right back here. So you'll know if it pertains to you, because I also hear this grandmother come in, and she's lived on a farm all her life. She's coming in and she's like, "I'm so disappointed in what I see going on with my granddaughter and my great grandson and that whole dynamic." So I don't know who that resonates for, but we're gonna get some confirmation messages. See what else comes out here. Like I said, it's a hard pill for people to swallow, because I can tell you this: I too have been in that situation, and during my situation, I was a baby, ended up having a baby because of that type of stuff. Okay. So this is where you need to know that it's it's not okay what they did, but God's saying, I need you to see it from a different perspective, because it was happening to them too. They thought that was normal stuff. They thought that that was normal, the touching and stuff like that. Okay. They didn't, they were raised not knowing any better. It does not make it right, God says, for them to go and do it to you. But I can tell you, when that type of thing happens, it affects relationships, it affects, you. But just know that you are a victim of what happened. It does not make it okay, and it does not define who you are. Because the one thing that I can say is that, now, mind you, me and my biological, like I've told you guys, I'm straightforward with you guys on everything that I say. I'm very transparent and very vulnerable. Her and I did not have a relationship. And when her and I would get into an actual argument about it, because I'm like, why can't I ever, come forward and say, there was finally that day where the epiphany came for her when I let her move into my basement, because she needed a place to live, and I opened up my heart. That's she gave birth to me. I'm thankful that she gave birth to me so that I'm here to be that divine messenger and that child of God, right? The thing is when we finally went face to face about it, yeah, I still had a lot of hurt. Yeah, I was in the wrong for being up in her face. But the thing is I wanted answers why or how somebody could say, "Well, you probably liked it, didn't you?" I was like, "What?" But it comes to find out that she was so hurt of what was going on because she wasn't there. She wasn't being that protector. She had her own guilt for what had taken place. And we were finally able to mend it, like on a level for me and her, because that was her her boyfriend, that was my little sister's father. Okay. And how it goes on like that is like she finally got to see eye to eye on how I felt about it, but then she got to express it. And after that, we embraced a huge hug and things were moving along just fine until that little switch flipped again and it become very toxic and I couldn't handle it. I was like, you have to go. You have to leave. And you have to go now. And it's being truthful to you guys because the thing is not a lot of people can stand in their truth of things that are going on. They're afraid of what society is going to say. They're afraid of what their viewers are going to think. But if you can't be real, raw, and transparent and give the messages that God tells you to put out there to let people know, how do you expect others to heal if you ain't willing to share your stories? And that's why I feel it's important to let you guys know I've been through it. When God says that I have been through the walk of the walks of the walks, yes, and I have overcome it. You have to embrace everything that you have gone through and you have to see it from a different perspective. Because I'll tell you this, and this is the connection with God and I. When this man who was on his deathbed in the hospital with a pacemaker, I went into that hospital with my little sister. I forgave him. Before he passed, I forgave him because I had that deeper understanding. And now that doesn't mean that everybody has to go to, you know, people and forgive them. But as long as you say, or you say it in your mind, or you say it out verbally, and you say, Father, I forgive them for what they did. I now have a deeper understanding that some of what these people have done is because they were born and raised to think that that was okay. Because there was a lot of that going on. There was a lot of, that's why, God's talking about, how when you go back in genealogy, you see that certain family members were married to certain cousins or, having babies and they had birth defects and stuff. God is the one coming through and telling me this. Okay. So he said after the second cousin. So, it's about having that deeper understanding that not all, okay, not all, but some of them, he's saying, have been conditioned like that. God is not okay with that though. And that's why he had me read them scripts to you, because that sorrow, that grief, that bitterness, and everything else, it's not just us that go through it. It's the ones who are committing the crimes. They also have gone through things to make it think that it's okay, but it's not okay. And that's why it's up to us to be able to break that chain and protect our children. That the main thing is protect our children. And I can tell you with my children, I taught them at a very young age about personal space. We had code words for if somebody was violating that. It's important to be able to do that with your children on a protection for your children. Okay. And a lot of people don't do that. So what happens is secretly these people are being harmed, taken advantage of, taking their innocence away, and not being able to say anything. So then as they grow as adults like us, they're harboring that pain, that bitterness, that grief, that sorrow, right? Because of what happened. We need to be the voice for this next generation of these children and our children. We need to be that voice that protects and make sure that God's children and his grandchildren and everybody is protected so that it lessens the fact of all this hurt and pain that somebody has to go through on a deeper level to where it makes it hard for them to be able to rise up and keep that positive energy, right? It's we have to work together as that unity of God's children to protect the children. Okay? And that brings me to okay, he's saying not for this one, but it'll come up, okay? But he said I can say this. Okay? When I was talking about the one who had the biker jacket on, and I said not all bikers are bad. Now, I was raised around all of that. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, God showed me. Now, I haven't seen it for myself yet, but now that he has said it, of course, I'm one that has to go in and get knowledge because knowledge is wisdom and to have that greater understanding. He said that there is one that he specifically brought out, and I'm not going to say the name right now because I don't have their permission, but he's saying their main objective is protecting them children who have been abused, who have to go into the courts, who have to that they can feel like they have a protective family around them of people who abandoned their children, who didn't want to be a parent or who gave up or who fell into other things that, pushing your child off, to a nanny or, here and there. And it's not saying that it's bad. So I don't want people coming at me and saying, well, I got a nanny and this and that. No, what God is explaining is that the ones who are less loved and cared for are protected. I know, sweetheart. I know. I've gotten some of the downloads. Yes, and that's why I said if you message me, if you go down in the description, I did put my email down in the description because I thought I had it in there, but somehow it must have kicked out of there. It's down there now because I double checked. But email me because I was going to answer your question about that, but I don't do it publicly because I'm not here to judge or embarrass anybody. What I am here to do is give God's message and help them healings come in so that we can rise above all this negativity, this hurt and this pain and these things that are happening that everybody's being hush hush, don't say nothing, we don't want to be involved or they walk away from it. No, we're changing that one day at a time, one person at a time by being able to do this through God. Absolutely, Luana. And that's the way I was with my children. If they had a question, I gave it to them straightforward. And the thing is it protected them. It saved them so that they weren't falling into that. And when I say code words, it's only the code words that the family knows. So if there's an outsider who is abusing and you come up and this person walks up and your child stops and freezes and says the code word, you know that that's the person that is secretly hurting your child. It is the most beautiful thing when you have something in place like that. Hello, beautiful Margaret. How are you doing? Hi. I'm glad that you're here. So to me, it's changing the way things happen to us in our past and making a difference to protect the children for the future. Because if we don't start getting something set in place, this is just going to keep going on for generation after generation. And we're not fixing anything, we're not healing anything. And too many people are holding on to the negative energy to where it's changing because it's, and God's just telling me now, it's like by doing this, it's like if you look into the astrological stuff and you look out there, all these new stars are being born, okay? Like the Tarantula Nebula. And the reason why he said Tarantula Nebula, because it is a very unique star, okay? And he says, like Cyrus A and Cyrus B, okay? You have the sun and you have it in between Capricorn. And he's showing me the 3 points on there. I don't know. It starts with a V, an A, and a D. Okay. So DVA is what it is showing, but it's under the Capricorn astrological in the sky is you have Cyrus A here, and here's the triangle he's showing me, and Cyrus B is right here in between the Alpha and the Omega. Okay. So it's the protection. That's what he's showing me, the protection. Absolutely. You can choose to not let it change you, but we can choose to make a difference to protect our children, because the thing is we know how we feel with all the hurt and pain. We don't want it to keep going on for generation after generation. It's time, like God says, it's time that we get the direction and the guidance to make them subtle changes to bring this world back to a more peaceful, loving place, a more trusting place. Because right now, nobody can trust nothing, right? God is saying that He is seeing all this negative of non-trusting, and He's like, I need people to believe in me. I am the most powerful. He says, I am going to change things. And He is. He is, because that paradigm shift that has come in, you're going to see. He's telling me about El Nino. El Nino. It's going to be one of the most scorching hot summers this summer. I mean, scorching hot. He said he's showing me like it's scorching. It's going to be scorching. It's going to be one of the hottest El Ninos or whatever he's saying. El Nino. Yeah. El Nino. He's saying it's going to be one of the hottest ever, ever. We've experienced them before, but he said this summer, watch. So just know that that message that came through from him, you're going to see it. Yes, absolutely, Margaret. Come back to God and know that He is guiding all the way, that He is supporting you. And when things start going down, turn to Him, surrender it to Him. Because, like I said, you don't have to go out and make a line of everybody that you have to go say sorry to. As long as you and God have that deep connection, and you come in and you let him know, hey, I forgave this person for this. I forgave this person of what they did. And you have that conversation with God, you are coming back to God. Okay. That innocent child, that's where you're coming back to, that connection with Father. And Father is going to bring it forward. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get a sacred cards, because these are the divine realms that are coming through, and we'll see what confirmation they want us to know. What confirmation do you want the collectives to know, please? One more for the shuffle, that way we got 4. What are you wanting the collectives to know, please? I need you to flip or fly so I know it's for them. What do you want the collectives to know, please? Anything that you want the collectives to know to go with this message? Okay, this one's stuck. Ah, clear and active. Okay. So this is being fully open and embracing, clearing your mind, clearing and healing to embrace the connection with God. And it's you being able to create that sacred space with God so that you get the spiritual enlightenment of what He's trying to show you. This is that deep connection. I'm hearing that deep connection. So that's confirmation there. All right. What else do we need to know, Father? What else do we need to know? Thank you. Yeah, I'm telling you, the multidimensional realms. Okay. They've got God's protection. Okay. God's protection. I'm hearing, and the reason why they're showing you the eyes, because look, 33 is the master teacher of God, right? There he is in your heart space. And this is you being able to open your intuition to be able to seek that clarification, to know exactly what God is trying to show you. And this is where a lot of people, they see this because this is 29. 29 is about the divine path, right? It's your divine path, being on that right path, like he said in the message. This is clarification of being on the right path. But these are the multidimensional realms coming in. These are God's other helpers, okay? And they're always watching and helping, always. But this is God, because God has them, and a lot of people, when they see this, they say, oh, that is too dark and ick. Well, ask God, he'll tell you. These are the multi-dimensional realms that other people, when you speak to them, you will know. This is the new beginnings. Okay, Mother Earth Gaia is coming through. She's beautiful, and of course God is guiding her. Okay, this is the North Node. This is God guiding everything, every creation. And this is him saying, balance yourself to light up your own path. Because when he's showing me, look at how angelic, can you see the deer or the stag? You see how angelically we're all connected? So what he is saying is that even though we're not all on the same path right now, we are all connected in some way with our Father as his child, no matter which direction that we are on our path, which stage we are on our path. Okay. So that is very important, because that's coming through and saying you need to light your own path by having that connection with God, because he's going to give that divine guidance to you and that support and that direction to where you need to be. So thank you, Father. What else do we need to know, please? What else do we need to know? Thank you. I told you. Stay grounded. Confirmation. Okay. Now, these are your chakras, and he's saying that he wants you to stay balanced, but this is your radiant circle, right? This is your radiant circle. It's what you call the Orion belt on your energetic vessel. Okay. It's about balancing. Because the thing is when you look at it this way, he showed, this is what he's showing me. So at the midsection, where your solar plex is, okay, that's the radiant circle. Okay. And when we have all the emotions come down this way, and we're absorbing the emotions from other people because of the situations, what happens? It gets stuck right here at the belt, right? And he says that's when you start noticing that you're putting on weight around your midsection. Okay. It's because you need to clear them energies. And a lot of people don't understand when you clear them energies, because God is the healing energy. This is God here in his radiant light. Okay. And it's you need to let your soul shine in that healing for that greater understanding by getting the messages and staying deeply rooted and grounded, so that you can, like when you're walking, it's like your feet are kissing the earth. because you're opening up from the core with Mother Earth Gaia, and all your emotions, instead of them getting stuck at the midsection of your solar plex, let Mother Earth Gaia absorb them and take it straight down to the core, and take and mess around with all the gases that she needs so that we have what we have for the environment, but then it brings up new seeds, right? So that's significant for somebody. Okay. All right. What else do we need to know, Father? What else do we need to know, please? Beautiful. Here's your Kundalini rising. Okay. Very angelic. Okay. Very angelic. But this is that fire and that passion to wake up to that, to ignite your passions for life, because God gave you that passion, the passion of Christ. Okay. He brings that out. The passion of Christ. It's building your stable foundation by opening up to your Kundalini rising and being able to ignite all them creative ideas that he is giving you as that angelic being. And when you know, because when you have 29 and 22 here, opening up your intuition for the clarification, you're coming into another step of that Kundalini where you're having that passion within you, and that passion with you and God, that intimacy of that connection, right? Okay. What else do we need to know, Father? What else do we need to know, please? What did I say? Third eye vision. Okay. So God is giving you the direction, He's giving you the guidance. This is the third eye direction. This is you awakening to your life purpose, to your soul mission. This is you reclaiming your mind that God so created you. This is you coming into your enlightenment that you have a much bigger mission, because you have a life purpose and you have a soul mission. And God needs you to reclaim your mind and be able to lead the way by lighting your own path of the communication that you're getting from God. Okay. So that's very significant. Oh, my hair got stuck. All right. Let's find out what else we need to know here. 4 shuffles for the stability. 4 shuffles. 4 shuffles. Yeah. And this is beautiful to me because when you look at it, it's spiritual enlightenment on your divine path to a new beginning. And with that enlightenment, you build a stable foundation with God in order to open up to all the gifts that He has given you. That's beautiful. Oof. All right. All right, Father, what do we need to know with this beautiful message, please? Freedom. Look, it's that balance within you. Okay, this is also talking about the twin flames. So this is confirmation what I had channeled to you. Okay, this is being spiritually free. And by doing that, you have that connection with God. And by being spiritually free, you not only come into the other multi dimensions and be that healing source, right? Here's the healing Mandalas. Okay. Being that healing source, you're going to balance things out where God needs you to balance things out between the light and dark. Okay. And this is about having that freedom. Yeah, and you're divinely guided, because that's where it's showing me like the moon and everything inside the horse. Yeah, look, affirmations. You need to balance yourself out, because look, we have the crown, the third eye, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, your solar plex, your sacral, and your root. Okay. And it's about staying grounded, staying balanced. And this is what God was saying on there, right? Because look, if you look at this, I am love. Okay. I am love. I am the light. I am love. I am strong. Okay, so this is basically God is saying every day you should be waking up, giving yourself affirmations. I am creative. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am resilient. I am a leader, I am a messenger. I am that love and light. And be in there. I am protected. Yeah. And I am never alone. Say them affirmations because, people say, oh, the affirmations don't mean nothing. So you're going to tell me God doesn't mean something to you? Because he's the one that likes the praise, right? And when you give God praise, what happens? He gives you rewards, right? So it's being fully open to what's going on. And I told not to take that one because it's stuck. Okay, what else do we need to know, Father? Told you. Yeah, look, because this is confirmation of the stuff that I channeled in. We need to break the generations of the conditionings. We need to break the illusions of what have been programmed into people, because you see basically how he's programmed. And hey, I'm programmed to do this, this, and this. But when you get rid of the illusions, look, there's a portal, and you see, gentlemen, here we are on different levels, right? But God says, you illuminate them illusions, you illuminate them fears, them hurts, them pains, them sorrows, the grief, that bitterness, and everything else. You're balancing things out, confirmation, to have that freedom and that deeper connection with God. Okay, what else do we need to know, Father? Yeah, and they also, I got two cards that came out. Okay, so he's also wanting me to show you this because look, there's different portals of the openings, the multi dimensions. Okay, so it's very important to really tap in, because he's saying you need to make that change. You need to make the subtle change. So this is confirmation of everything that I said about making the subtle change, and God is watching over you, right? You need to make the subtle change, because I'm hearing, oh, yeah, look. So look how he's protected by God. The white light right here. There you go here. Yeah, so it's about going through them changes. It's about staying on that divine path. So this is just confirmation. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. I love you so much, Father. I'm telling you, look, deeply rooted and grounded, right? We are all connected. We are all deeply rooted and grounded. There's a message in the tree. Hold on. The initials in the tree say Ralph, Sally, and right here, Love. So he's saying that every tree that you look at, again, so this message has come out once before, spells love, confirmation, because my angelic team is here, because when they start flickering the lights, energetically, they're pulling the energy to be here and to show everything. But it's being the center. God is the center of all, right? It is our passion and our desire to be emotionally balanced, to get the divine communication. And I'm also seeing R and R. So we need to rest and relax and be able to regenerate ourselves on a healing level. I'm hearing on a healing level, because somebody's going through dialysis right now, he said. Look, because we have the beautiful angel assistants to keep everything balanced. This is the healing Merkaba, right? And they help us take action and heal things. I love it. I love it because I'm hearing the flower of life. I'm hearing the flower of the soul. Being deeply rooted and balanced with the healing. I'm also seeing the Herkimer crystal. And when you look at his cloak, it is like water, the flow, go with the flow, right? It looks like water. Yeah, it's because we have to be that nurturing component to make things grow, right? To bring things forward. This also looks like Sarah. Sarah. I just seen that when I was looking at you guys like that. That's beautiful. All right, we'll get one more of these and then we'll get a healing Mandela. Yeah, look at, told you. Animal kingdom, animal spirits are here. Confirmation from at the beginning of the video. Okay, because right here, it's about following your instincts. Stay strong in the wisdom of God. Stay gentle, but see things from a different perspective. Be able to go with the flow. Yeah, because I'm hearing right here, you have that divine guidance that keeps you balanced, keeps you rooted and grounded. But Luna is here saying, look, even though things may be dark, you have one beautiful angelic team with God and all the angelic teams there and all the different divine realms coming through who are protecting you every step of the way. Because, like I said, the eagle is about seeing things from new perspectives, the owl is about the wisdom and knowledge. This is about having that gentleness within your heart and do everything from unconditional love. This is stay strong. Don't be defensive, but stay strong and stay loyal. Use your instincts, right? Because you're the leader of the pack, right? I'm hearing the leader of your pack. And a lot of people have to melt that ice in order for the crystals to grow. Okay. So that's beautiful. All right, let's get a healing Mandela. We'll do 3 shuffles because this is for God. And when I do it about the stability, that's for him too. But when he tells me, this is how many you give, this is how many you give, okay? All right, Father, what do we need to know, please? What do we need to know? I needed to flip or fly. Thank you. Oh, I knew it. I knew it as soon as I seen that card flip. Okay. So I am a Reiki master, right? I am a Reiki master and a crystal healer. I am a divine messenger from God. He has given me all these beautiful gifts, but these are the OMs coming in. And I'm telling you, oh my gosh. Okay. Father, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you because I'm going to show you. Okay. So he gave me the Reiki. Okay. He gave me the golden spirit or spiral. And look at moon candy. What did I tell you? Confirmation. When God was speaking to me, it came out. It came out. Okay. Because this is about going through the different cycles. Okay. Divine feminine with God and divine masculine. It's about going through the cycles, right? I love it. 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 Whew. Hold on. I need a drink because when he shows me this, there's more messages for these, but I'm just taking a moment because I was surprised when that came out is confirmation that he is using me as the messenger to put out there for people, to be that healing source, to know that they are protected with God's divine light. Mm. Oh my gosh, I'm choked up because he's saying that just know that everything happens for a reason. Nothing is by coincidence. And the healing that is taking place is the messages that he had come out. And it's confirmation because he wants you guys to be able to heal and learn and know and be that influence. This is the influence. The moon candy is all about the influence. Be that great influence for the next generations by having that compassion, doing everything from your heart, staying deeply rooted and grounded. Excuse me, being able to see the beauty in everything and having that great passion. And then you have the golden spirit. I want you to just look at the golden spirit for a minute. Look at the golden spirit because this is God's infinite power. This is God's infinite power of that change. And no matter what we're going through, look at that beautiful mosaic there. No matter what we go through, somehow we all come to that healing point with a deeper connection with God. So let's get one more here. One more. One more. Oh, more. I love you. I love. This is Chick. Okay. So I just want you guys to stare at it for a minute and really like zone into it, okay? And there's a reason why I'm having you like zone into it because this is the love, this is the beauty, this is the divine healing that we're all going through, standing together. And it doesn't matter the stuff from our past. God is divinely guiding us, giving us that direction. And this is why I wanted you to just stare at it for a minute because this is all about the new beginnings of us being able to do it, right? But it's balancing things out on a higher level with God to have a deeper understanding. Yeah, because it shows right here stability, God. Stability, God. Okay, let's see. Yes, yes, and you can. That's because you're going through a growth period, sweetheart. So, no matter how lonely you may feel, stand in your power, use your instincts, your intuition, come from that gentle place, see things from a different perspective, and get the wisdom and knowledge that God is showing you. Because even though you're standing alone in the physical, God is with you every step of the way. So that is the beautiful message that he conveyed tonight. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that it came out. So now I'm going to go in here and see if I can't answer a few questions, if I can catch up here, because like I said, sometimes it shows me, sometimes it don't. I'm trying to... Yeah, so sweetheart, when you forgive them and they do something else and you have to start all over again. The thing is remember that repeated cycle of what God wants you to pick out, because if he if he's showing it over and over as something within, that we have to make that pivotal change within us, right? So that we can come to that healing, whether it's setting a healthy boundary, whether it's telling this person, listen, I forgave you because God says forgive. If he says, if your brother sins 7 times, forgive him. If he sins 7 more times, forgive him. We can keep forgiving, but each time that we forgive, God also says, make sure, that you're making them changes within you, that you're setting them healthy boundaries so that they understand, hey, stop treating me this way. Because God's gonna see, when it happens over and over, God will take charge of that. Yep. And the thing is don't ask yourself what you're doing wrong. It's not what you're doing wrong, it's what you're needing to figure out how to know, because God says it's never wrong when it comes to the knowledge. It's how do you fix yourself or pivot that self so you're not constantly going through it. The way he's bringing it out there, I guess the best way that I can say it, the way he's bringing it out there is you take accountability for you, but don't sit and self blame all the time, okay? Because it's when you don't understand or you need some deeper understanding, turn to him, because it's not what you're doing wrong, it's what you haven't been taught, is what he told me, or you haven't been guided the correct way or taught the correct way. So it's not what you're doing wrong, it's about teaching and learning about it. Well, Lakia, what God's telling me right now is, the things that God was coming through with the whole situation. You've got yourself um in these little chaotic dynamics and everything. And he's saying that he wants you to listen to your heart. What is your heart telling you? Because it's like one shows up with flowers, the other one, calls or whatnot. The thing is you got to learn how to listen to your heart, is what he's telling me. Let your heart guide you, okay? Don't let your logic mind guide you. He's saying, let your heart guide you, because when you let your heart guide you, it is guiding you to what God thinks best for you. Okay? Okay. Yes, and I hope that, I'm able, the messages that I'm giving, I hope that all of you are getting something from the messages, because God says you are, because you're here every night getting the messages, and he says that is beautiful, of the following to the healing, is what he was saying. The following to the healing. Um, let's see. Yep, and I finally got to that one. Okay, so um well, it just bounced me somewhere. Oh, I told you. That's beautiful, Luana. That's beautiful. Because that's God balancing things out, right? Because after every storm, he says there has to be a rainbow, right? And he says we just got to balance it out and it's going to shine. Yes, absolutely. And much love to you, sweetheart. Much love to you and blessings to you. And God bless you, sister. And I will see you soon. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate all of you. Like I said, it's great to know that we have our little soul tribe family here that it's building each day, more and more people, because God says He's showing more and more people. Um, and that's what we need, is to be able to get the messages out. So don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the little notification bell. Don't forget to share the messages. It's very important to get God's messages out there, and however it relates to whoever needs to hear it, because these messages, it doesn't matter if you hear it tonight or you hear it 20 years from now. If you're meant to hear it and it comes across you, it's because there's a message in there for you. And that's the important thing. All right. So I want to send you guys lots of love and light, blessings and healing. And I pray that all of you get your wishes come true, because, like I said, God has made that victory shift. He has made that paradigm shift. And it's all about standing in your power. Again, if you need to get a hold of me, it's down in my description box down there at the bottom. It's got my email in there. If you have questions, or if something resonated with you and you want more clarity, email me. Um, I'm gonna sit back and respond to all the other emails that I got and everything. Because, like I said, I got over 1,000 some emails of people questioning and stuff, and so I'm here. I'm God's messenger, and I'm going to make sure that I get it out there. So I'm sending you guys lots of love and light. Hi, Bernadette. Thank you, sweetheart. I greatly appreciate you. All right. Have a great night, guys. Ladies, guys, I always say that. Let me correct myself. Have a great night, my brothers and sisters, because us guys are now going to go rest and relax. Okay. And take in the moments, and I got to go out and ground myself with Mother Earth Gaia. So sending lots of love and light to you all. I will be here tomorrow at 7. Um and yeah, we'll make sure that we keep on pushing forward and be that healing light, and everybody shine your light. Keep your head up, shoulders back, and persevere forward, and just make sure that we're doing the healing work, right? And we'll get through it all. Love you guys. Good night.